In this video, we're going to take a look at a sample problem from our module on outer joins. The problem we're going to look at today is to list the reseller name for resellers who have not sold any bikes. I want to show resellers, so resellers is going to be the left side of my left outer join. That is the side that I'm going to show basically all the records from. And I'm going to join that with a virtual table that I create that's going to allow me to find the resellers who have sold bikes. Then I'm going to test the results of that join for a null value in the common field on the many side of the relationship. So I'm going to start by trying to find out how to get bikes. And what I know is that bikes live in the product category table. However, they're linked to the product subcategory table, which is linked to the products table. And what I can do with this is I can select all from the product table, from the product category table. And I find that bikes are product category 1. Then I will just edit this to find the subcategories and determine where my product category 1 intersects with the product subcategory. And product category 1 belongs to the first 3, which are product subcategory 1, 2, and 3. And so those are the ones that I'm looking for in the product table. And so I'm just going to make a note of those here that I'm looking for. And so those are the categories that I'm looking for, subcategories. And now I'm going to find the resellers who have sold bikes. So I'm going to start like I normally do with the select statement and then move directly to the from. And I'm going to start with resellers. So I need my fact reseller sales. And I'm going to call that R, just to make it easier to work with. And I'm going to do an inner join to the product table. I'm going to call it P on their common field, and the common field between these two is the product key. So R dot product key equal P dot. And the fields that I want are, let's see, we'll do the R dot reseller key, P dot product key, and if I need others I can bring those in. And now I want to know where P dot product subcategory key in, remember it can't be equal to 1, 2, or 3 like I wrote above. It can be product subcategory key equal 1 or product subcategory key equal 2, or I can use in 1, 2, 3. And I'm going to run it to see what I come up with. So these are the resellers who have sold bikes. Now what we want to do with this is I want to do a left outer join from this virtual table to my reseller table. And so I'm going to go up above it here and I'm going to start another select. So I'm going to select from my reseller and I'll give this an alias of RS for reseller. and I'm going to do a left outer join to the select statement that I've just written. And I'm going to give it a name of bike buyers. So I'll just call this bike buyers, BB. And I want to know the reseller name. So rs dot reseller name, and then I need to join these two tables on their common field, where rs dot reseller key equal bb, my virtual table, dot reseller key. And now I'll run this. And just to see how this works, I'm going to add a couple fields. And if I'm going to use the field out here, and it comes from in here, then I have to show it in here. Remember, I'm creating a virtual table. So I'm going to come in here and I'm going to put in p dot product subcategory key. That's the one I want to see. And I'm going to come out here, and when I reference it in my select statement, it's going to be BB because it's coming from that virtual table. And let's run this. And what I want to look for are all these nulls. These are my resellers who have not sold bikes, because these are my bike resellers, this group. And I can grab this and I can run it and I can see my bike resellers. Then I'm doing my left outer join to my resellers. When I execute this, I'm seeing all my resellers, including those who have not sold a bike. So now what I want to do to eliminate those that have sold a bike is I'm going to add another where clause, and this is going to be where the linking field from the many side of the relationship, from this virtual table, the BB reseller key is null. Remember, it can't be equal to null or not equal to null. It has to be is null. And let's try this. And these are our resellers who have not sold a bike. Now I'm going to remove this because I don't want to show it. But those are the resellers now who have not sold a bike. So what I did is I first started by determining how I was going to find the resellers who had sold bikes. And that's what this is all about. I went in and I found the product category key of 1, found it in the product subcategory table, and then found it in 1, 2, and 3 in the product subcategory table, which exists in the product table as 1, 2, or 3. The other thing I could have done is I could have joined all the way through to the product category table and looked for bikes. I just thought that was a little more complicated than what I needed to do. Now the problem with this one would be if our AdventureWorks creates another category of bikes and adds another subcategory key, well, this query would no longer work. So that's something that we have to be aware of, is how long is this query going to work? If we're going to put it in production, it should be able to work all the time. And so I found the resellers who have sold bikes. I joined them with a left outer join because I want to see all the resellers. And so this gives me all my resellers, including those who have not purchased, who have not sold bikes. And then I'm going to do where the common field in the linking table is null because all of my resellers will have a reseller key. That's the primary key. The primary key becomes the foreign key in the linked table. In that case, this is this table that I called BB. I just gave it a name so I could work with it. And when I run it, I find those resellers who have not sold a bike. Now these resellers are coming from the reseller table. So why don't I use the distinct keyword? Because the reseller name would only appear once in the reseller table. Now if the reseller name appears more than once, that means it's a different reseller because it will have a different primary key. And we could even check this by bringing in the rs.reseller key. And see, we still have 114. And I can leave that in or I can take it out. I'm going to take it back out and finish my query by adding an order by. And I want to order by rs.reseller name. And there we go.